Bounty Hunters. Life on the blockchain.
Oh, yeah. Wow.
Uh,
Life on the blockchain.
that I know I'm not I know I'm not the first one to tell this, but yes, the entrance. I mean, it rocks.
This is pre-AI entrance music right there. And it's proven that your testosterone spikes by like 50 points right when you hear that bad boy.
Yeah.
Oh man. Dude, do I have you here? What's going on? Are you still there, Marco?
Yes, I'm here.
Oh, okay. You were in and out. Thought you were on the
Yes.
moon or something. Okay, cool. Dude, I gotta say, and this is if people are not familiar with you, and if they're as old as me, and I'm gonna get like 2 laughs in the audience when they listen to this right now, because it's mostly younger guys. But let's flash back to the 90s. Command and
Yes.
Conquer. Command and Conquer. There's a villain. His name
Okay.
his name is Kain, and, and your profile pic looks exactly like.
you 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 know I think you mentioned this to me in Bulgaria, and I I I think it was Bulgaria, yes, and I had to look that up because I didn't know the character. So yeah.
Hey, for the picture for this episode, instead of your PFP, I should put the Kane face, and no one will notice.
Your choice, man. if if you can also change my voice to Johnny Bravo's voice, please.
No, man. If people don't know Marco, he's the king of the blockchain. He plays it down. He doesn't get on Twitter for months at a time, just because he's so deep in all his bug submissions. But he's a real OG out there. So very nice to have you on the podcast today, sir.
Thank you, man. That's a little bit much, but yes, thank you so much. Yes, I'm flattered. And well, I've been months out of Twitter, and most of the time I was taking care of real life things, and sometimes I just go to take care of my farm things and chickens and soil and things like that. So yeah, it I was not so deep into the bugs, but in a way, I think that helps me a lot. And I'm pretty sure every outdoor or bug hunter out there kinda has his own rituals, and in which you are out of the computer, out of anything digital, mostly looking at the beach, doing something cool, and just thinking about how could I hack that. So yeah, I'm not. I'm never. Unfortunately, I'm condemned to this, and I'm not. I'm never always 100% off. It's a
No
curse
one
we have,
is.
right?
Once you're in, you're in. You're hooked in for life.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
is, man. I don't know what to do. I love what you're saying. Go offline. I think we always preach that, and you get some better sense of what's going on. And you just pull away, man. Because I was joking with well, I was talking to our VC on a call, and we were talking about different things, and I was like, yeah, if I as soon as I log on to X, within like minutes, I feel like, okay, there's no hope. AI is taking over everything. I'm fucked if I'm not a deca millionaire, and I have 24 hours to act. And if I don't do all these things, then I'm fucked, and there's no hope for me.
Yes.
And
In 2 weeks TM, you'll be condemned your whole life to the permanent underclass. They are calling
I,
it now.
permanent, yeah. I don't have 20 Mac Minis running Claude bots or whatever the fuck. Then it's like, dude, there's just too much shit, man. So go back, look at your chickens, and just chill out and think about some bugs. I like that.
Yes, that has been working for me. Wonder, especially because I think I don't know if I'm I just I told you I'm addicted to this, and maybe it's an addiction really because maybe I'm not even made for this because I get burnt out too easily if I'm always on the digital. I have to do something. I have to go outside. I have to ha- have my son water and everything, and I just can't stay only in a computer. But at the same time, I love to be in the computer, so it's a weird feeling, but I love it. I love it all, and I think pain also helps me with the process. I think as as much as I remember, there isn't a single worth vulnerability that I've reported that didn't end up in days of pain when I was like days to report it, and it was just pain for to prove it, to code the POC, and then you hit a block and you, oh fuck, I'm wrong, and then oh no, I'm not wrong, it's just my POC that's wrong. So yeah, I think I think this really helps me sometimes, but you have to balance, otherwise you get, I mean, you kill yourself, right? I
Yeah.
could do
Oh,
that,
it's
yes.
so easy to do it. Yeah, it's so easy. We're all just dorks at heart, and we could just sit in front of the screen. You have to pull yourself away. And you're right, 90% of the bug hunting experience is pain.
Yes.
It's a rare time where everything goes as planned. The team's great, the payout's great, and the speed is great. Like that's just becoming a diamond in the rough nowadays, unfortunately.
Yeah, I've never had that. There's always, I mean, there are great teams that I can say, wow, they are very professional and they treated me well, especially some teams that I contacted directly, because directly the risks may be higher sometimes, sometimes not. It depends actually. But there are some things that I can say, yeah, I respect them, but there's always some little thing because when it comes from your side, uh, they when it comes to give you points, there's always nuance and things that oh, it's understood, it didn't doesn't need to be written there, but when it comes to give them points, they are all a bit. I mean, actually, it's the opposite. When it comes to give you points, it's all the literally word of law. And when it comes to take points out of you, there's nuance, and oh, you should have think of this and that, and never. It's never a totally smooth experience, but I mean, I think it comes with the job. It's a very adversarial job in security, even if you're not bug hunting. Some, I mean, if you're not bug hunting independently,
Oh
even if
well. Hear this, man. Because just from a different point of view, right? That I never normally do. What you're saying is totally factual because there's always money on the line, right?
yes,
And
yes,
on the line, you're going to have that kind of standoffish ness with the protocol. So recently, we had a great. We submitted 5 bugs. Right? We were looking at the underlayer of a popular protocol, and there's an underlayer that was basically forgot about. And I'll disclose all this soon once everything's confirmed. But we ended up running our tool against these repos that no one's looked at for a while, and we ended up finding some really good bugs. And then, but there's no real bounty program for them because we thought that the protocols using that underlayer, we would be able to expose bugs based upon these underlayer findings. And we check on chain, we check everything, and like the exploit's not out there live, unfortunately. Like it's too much of an edge case. And so our dealings with the underlayer that we disclosed to with no bounty program, oh my God, was the best ever. Oh, thanks. Thank you so much for disclosing. Like, because there's no monetary pressure. And when you don't have that,
yeah, I get it.
like, oh, you're the best. Thanks, man. High five. And it's like,
Yes,
oh,
yes. But I mean, in this case, it's actually pretty positive in a way, right? Because the monetary pressure, I totally understand. What the last thing I like to the last thing I like to have to deal with is that there is also oftentimes there's the pride pressure in which they pay one way, but then they will lower the severity because they don't want critical on their list for the VCs to see or whatever, the
Right.
investors or whatever, uh,
Right.
or or there is somebody in the team that has some leverage and doesn't want to admit an error, a mistake. And I
Hmm.
mean, this pride thing is what hit security guys, even inside the companies they are already working at. So even inside a company, if you find vulnerabilities in the system and you are already an insider, the devs get defensive if you don't approach that right. And this is for to me in a technical field, this is one of the worst things I like to deal, because the monetary pressure, yes, I understand people will do many things to survive, although I don't agree. But the pride, it really hurts the technical development of things, and it's been a blocker in the ecosystem, oftentimes for all the sides, not only from the side of projects, but also the side of the security researchers too. Some of us are really proud too, right?
You're right, and I wonder if there's a way to mitigate this. If you know like the way to give criticism to people, one of the effective techniques is you sandwich it in there. So you say, hey, XYZ, Marco, hey, you're not doing that great at work. This is not good. Oh, but however, your last report was this. You're doing really good here, and then, or is it the bad stuff's on the inside, the good stuff's on the outside, something like that. But maybe you could do the same thing with reports. But I'm just thinking like how I would word that report. It's kind of hard. Like obviously you don't send a report saying, "Oh, these devs are so careless. They just left this in here. It's stupid decision."
Yeah.
You make it very mechanical and objective and just kind of state the facts. But I've never put in there like, wow, this was an amazing design choice, and it was
Hmm.
it was slightly flawed. Unfortunately, I've never like really made it like that, but that could maybe decrease the pushback you get.
Yes. To me personally, the only thing that has worked in the past when I was working more with on the consultant side as offensive security researcher, red teamer, was something that in bug bounty is mostly impossible for most of people and would be a waste of time because they are not on a paycheck, was to have some social relationship with the devs and engineers, and then they see you like a cool guy, not a guy just that only criticizes the project and or that criticizes what they are doing. And then when you appear with something, they are more open to get that, but that's mostly impossible with bug bounty hunting, and it would be a waste of time for the researchers, right? So that's the only thing that really worked to me, was to have all this relationship, because when I started with offensive security, I was I am still is I am still yeah, I still am, yes. I still am, but in a way I've changed it a bit. I was always too harsh and very very harsh. Like I like to make jokes about what the devs did, the mistakes they did, and I mean, as a man, you obviously, as a real man, right? Because there are not so real men. So, I mean, as a real man, you will understand that from a martial arts perspective, we like this tension. We just say some jokes about the shit they did, and they throw another one to us, like, "Oh, you can't hack this.
No, I
You're done."
disagree. No
But
way. No one's gonna like that, man. No one's gonna like that. No way. These guys, you got to picture like these guys have a significant amount of probably their net worth in whatever protocol they're
Yeah.
with, vesting, this and that. So they put so much time into this. This is their baby, and
Yes, yes, yes,
you're
yes.
gonna come by and be
So,
like,
so, so,
"You
so,
fucking
so, so,
missed
so,
this."
so, so yeah, that's what I was getting with this is that exactly that's something that I changed a lot from my younger years because I started with this approach because to me it was natural. It was what we did on judo or anything we did parkour that I used to do, and in we had this tension and it was good this competition, but when started to see that people, yeah, they have it like their baby, but it's not only that too, it's that people see their net worth and they think that should mean they're infallible. It's to me it's like a doctor who goes 10 years to a school and then and then he thinks that he cannot make a mistake, or at least he cannot be judged by a patient. And I think it's similar. You get people see their net worth and think, oh, it's not like your thing. You can't be seeing that this way. It's wrong because I did so much money. You are probably wrong, or at least it's not that bad. So yeah, I think it's a very important part of the of our market to establish that relationship because we are all humans, right? So both sides we and people in the protocols, hopefully, they don't want to be hacked, and but at the same time, I don't have and I think nobody has really a solution to this relationship issue we have right now. It's very difficult.
Yeah. It reminds me of, if you've heard of confirmation bias with academics, is you put like your PhD thesis is built upon this research that you did for years, or if you did a study that just took so much time and so much of your life, and then you get to the results and you find that it's wrong, that your whole thesis
Yeah.
is incorrect.
Yeah, imagine that.
And the confirmation bias, yeah, is you're not going to listen to anybody. You're going to say, well, "What did I just waste 7 years on?" Like,
Yeah.
I'll just
Yeah,
modify it to make
exactly.
it
Yes.
work. What was that book that came out, the China study, where it was talking about vegetarians and veganism, and then it got debunked, like it was, the whole thing was bullshit. And this was the same example of confirmation bias. But I see it, man. I mean, you put yourself in those shoes and you're like, well, what do I have to
Yeah.
show for it after 5 to 7 years? Just like you build the DeFi protocol, and then it's very popular, and then this guy discloses this thing that makes you pay out a bounty of like $1 million, $10 million, and you're probably going to get, I don't want to say reprimanded on the inside, but maybe that money comes out of like future compensation to you. And so
Yes,
I
yes,
could see
yes.
the pushback. Yeah.
And when you see that KYC, it's a 13-year-old dude in the other side of the world. Yeah.
Oh, shit.
That probably hurts a lot. Yes.
A 13-year-old. All right. The best strategy though is you have to suck up your ego as a founder, protocol, dev, whatever, and just say, hey, listen, look, obviously I'm not flawless. Okay. Audits, doesn't matter, man. Found a bug, pay the guy, be transparent with your investors, your users, put a bug report out there, show you fixed it, show how you responded. That's the best, man. The best case
Yeah.
scenario. I cannot stand this kind of thing that seems to be more common, of just like of these. They have on their bug bounty programs with, say, ImmuneFi, right? They have a this responsible disclosure policy, like the
Hmm.
maximum restriction. Okay, you can't say
Oh,
anything,
yes. I
even
have so
when
much to
we
talk about that.
right, even when we deny the bug, right? Even if you submit
Yes.
a bug and then we say, okay, we're not going to fix it, you still can't talk about this bug, even though you're not going to fix it.
Yes.
What kind of bullshit is this?
Yes, I've mentioned that before on Twitter, X, and I think that's one of the biggest mistakes that got into production in Immunify is the responsible policy tree. especially and specifically because of this. I understand that if I find something and we disagree on severity, okay, it's a thing. There's mediation for that. But when I find something and you tell me this is a duplicate, okay, there's a risk. So I agree with that. If you don't want that disclosed or you want a disclosure timeline, that's up to you, okay. But if I find something and you tell me that it's invalid, won't fix, uh, okay, I know the project can do whatever they want with their BBB terms, but Immunify, in my opinion, shouldn't ever had put that as one of the standard policies because it's completely crazy, especially because won't fix is one dirty trick that some bad projects use in a way that what they do is like you submit a vulnerability to them. That's one of the reasons I've been having some success reporting vulnerabilities directly to some projects that were on RP3 because if I send them an email without terms and I say here's the vulnerability, I'm disclosing in X and no terms, of course. Otherwise, some projects will screen blackmail or some bullshit. And now you have the terms. If they say it's invalid, okay, so it's invalid. I can publish. It's safe to publish, right? Let's go. That's it. But in the case of RP3, you send them something. For example, they want to. If it's a bad project, most projects that are good, of course, won't do this. But a dirty trick you can do is like you deny the vulnerability because maybe it's a vulnerability you can monitor and you can accept the risk. So you monitor, it's something that you could accept the risk for 3 months or monitor to have some mitigation for that that is not obvious. And then in 5 months you are you are already changing the architecture so much that that vulnerability is not exploitable anymore. But nobody can for certain point and establish the causality that you did that to fix the bug in an indirect way because projects, especially because projects in this ecosystem are changing so much, it's very easy to get a vulnerability, accept the risk, monitor, do some other thing to to take care of that. You can do a risk management assessment even with some help of AI, right? To establish that there's X% of that being found out on the wild for now, and we also have this mitigation in place to monitor and do some live mitigation. And then you wait for some months and you change your architecture enough that that bug is unexploitable now. So the white hat won't be able to point to that and say they fixed it because they didn't fix it. They just changed the architecture, right? It's the right. So yes, RP3 to me is totally crazy to be a standard policy there. It probably came from pressure from projects for sure.
Yeah, yeah. Or they fix it under your nose and they just hope you're not going to watch, or they just sneak it
Oh,
in.
I I
There's a
I
lot
I,
of weird behaviors.
I had one of this right. I mean, right now. No, not right now. It there's one project that is I I I have my time to go to a arbitration. I still have time for that, so I'm pretty comfortable in doing everything right because arbitration is not the golden dream that people may imagine. You have to be very careful with that because many projects for many projects the arbitration won't to be worth it really because you see you have 2 steps on the arbitration process, which is the London Chamber arbitration of Immunify. You have 2 steps. You can earn the award, which means you are correct, and the arbitrator said you are correct, okay. But now you have to do if the project won't pay for the free will, some projects will to not have that on their accounts or the VCs or whatever. But if the project doesn't do that or the product vanishes, uh, in the case of vanishing, it's pretty hard to get your money. But if they vanish their legal entity or whatever, but if you want to enforce that, you have now to enforce that in their jurisdiction. And if it's New York, okay, it's almost automatic, and they will have their accounts with the money subtracted from it if the need comes to that, and that's it. But if they are in Curacao or whatever the fuck the legal entity for that financial money is, it gets harder and more expensive. It's possible in some of these fiscal in some of these havens, but it gets more expensive. It's not just, oh, you get the arbitration and then you won and now the money is on your account. No, it doesn't work like that. So you have to really check the situation you are in, which is what the project is. And in my case, it's not even a huge amount of money. Of course, I won't disclose anything, not even values, because uh, a lawyer wouldn't like like
But are
me
you
to say.
going to arbitration? Are you going to be the first guy that goes to it?
For now, I'm pretty sure I will. I still have time. Of course,
Mhm.
my plans can change if I see something, for example, if I see that I won't get what I want with the entity because it may be unenforceable. That I can win this on the arbitration. I'm 100% you cannot say because minds of arbitrators and judges
Mhm.
may be different, but I'm 80% sure at, uh, that I win this arbitration because it's a so easy case. It's exactly like this. The project, I reported the vulnerability in March. In March, yes, March of the last year,
Jesus.
and yes,
This is longer
and
than mine. I thought I had the record.
and no, and they closed it. They closed it, saying that it was invalid, and they gave an economical argument of why it was invalid. And then I spent my time proving that it was not invalid. I had the I had all the numbers accounted, all the public numbers, everything. It's perfect. Mediation stood by my side as a critical, and the project just stayed there silent to me, saying nothing for 7 months. Yeah, that was 7 months. And they sent an argument. First, they tried some arguments that I don't remember all the arguments right now, but useless because mediation didn't change their position until like 10 months in the issue in the problem. They remembered that they had some Google Docs, some document from some time. I won't say specific times too, because we never know. We have some young guys there that can find exactly what product is if you say too much.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
they had some document there in which they 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 said this document proved that it was a known vulnerability that they would fix. But well, the document isn't identifying anything as a known vulnerability or as an accepted risk. And two, so they don't have the proof that they would change that in any way. And two, if they had that, why would they have closed as invalid months ago, months before that? They just remember 10 months in the game. And and in one of my messages, the causality is so ridiculous. In one of my messages to mediation, because mediation failed on this process. They spent some time without doing anything too. They they told me there was an internal issue, and they left that on the fridge. So there it happened. This happened too. But when mediation pinged them with the fix the fix proof that I sent to mediation, because they fixed the vulnerability, the motherfuckers. They right when they pinged, okay, they started to come up with the set skills. But more importantly, when the before this, the worst causalities before this, when the mediation came back to ping them that they would have to answer to me, this happened before fixing it. I actually believe maybe they forgot about the vulnerability, or they whoever took care of that didn't really think it was that bad, maybe. But so it's this part is possible. But mediation sided with me, and then they pinged the project. And right when they pinged the project, 4 months in, the fix came out in 3 days, 4 days, something like that. And before the fix, they published, they committed, they pushed it to the repo, the exact tests to test my vulnerability, and then they fixed it. And then their excuse was that yes, they were testing for my vulnerability. This they didn't deny, but the fix was just happened to be a UX fix. Can you believe that, man?
Oh, I believe it. That's very believable, actually. And the fact that you're taking so much time to do this, I think I posted something today or yesterday about like I was waiting 6 months now on a bug that the project confirmed, and it was a severity dispute. And it's like it's in mediation, no one responds. I just fucking sit here and I'm like, what is the time value of money? Like I think back to old finance classes and I'm what's the fucking incentive for this project to ever respond? There's
Yeah.
zero. There's fucking zero. And it's like
Yes.
if you have, and I always like to give the benefit of the doubt. Like I know I'm not the only game in town with bugs. I know the project has fucking a whole project to run. There's all kinds of things going on. Okay, but 6 months is egregious. There's no excuse. And so, what ImmuneFi could do, the simplest thing, and I think maybe this is what their vaults were supposed to do, is like if you're going to put up a mill for a bounty, right? And I'm going to say, and let's just say you have ImmuneFi triaging this, your submission. So I submit a critical and I'm like, hey, this is a max impact. And ImmuneFi triaging should say, okay, as part of the submission, look, if it's validated by us and it's going to the project, we're going to custody 1 mil from the project in the vault or whatever. And that way, until this is resolved, that project no longer has access to those funds. It's escrowed. So
Yeah.
you're in the same boat, you and them. And there has to be some trade. This is so fucking stupid. I've always argued that you give away all your power when you give up the bug. And so now you're hoping for
Yes.
the
Yes.
other party to act responsibly. And now there's this new shit because we've been submitting a lot of bugs recently with our AI platform. And so I've noticed here's some feedback on the bug platform or the bug universe right now is that projects, it's a bear market, right? Projects are going bankrupt. I get it. There are projects that are not as well, and they have big treasuries and they still have big bounties that the fucking DAO approved. All the terms have been approved. Okay. I didn't make the terms. You did. Just abide by them. And they're not paying bounties for shit that is minimal. Like they just don't care about it. So you could have anything, man. And I've been testing this with many different teams, man, in Telegram chats and through the bounty programs. And I'm finding teams are just like, the user loses some funds. Like a lot of it's just like, like they don't
Yeah.
give a
Yeah.
shit. And so it's made us focus more on just like, you know what? Let's just focus on straight up criticals that are going to do objective impact on a target, a user, whatever, and like something you can't ignore. And I think that's the real strategy at this point in time, because it's just being people tightening
Yes.
up their belts, and just I think they use this mediation with ImmuneFi honestly to delay. Like we had a protocol
Oh
recently,
man, yeah.
I think do this to us, where they offered us half of what the minimum payment was on their fucking bug bounty, and I'm just like, this is stupid. I know what you're doing. You're acting in bad faith, and you just want to prolong this. Okay, well, like
Yes,
what
yes.
option do I have here as the bug hunter? And it's really sad to see. It's really sad to see.
Yes, it is. And well, I think that's possibly a great idea that should be tested, but also another thing that could work here is some pressure on the reputation. Like imagine that the mediation sides with you instead of the monetary part. They would have in their profile, like they have, like this project has X criticals that they are not paying, or that are mediated against them and not resolved, and something like that. Some stats like that could be cool too, because these people respond a lot to the investors and to VCs and anyone who has a money on them can give them money eventually, and that's one way. Another way, and on mediation, sometimes delaying things. Yes, I've seen that pattern. That's why, in the last year, I sent some bugs. I started to try out. Let's see what happens. Sending bugs to the projects themselves, and I saw that, well, sometimes, well, I mean, oftentimes they lowball me, but at least it gets solved quickly. Even, I mean, I don't have all the leverage if I want the money, but you have one leverage when you send directly to them, is that you can publish it. You can just tell, okay, whatever. You can't ever, of course, publish it because you didn't get the money, no. But you can just send an email, tell you are going to follow an ethical disclosure timeline, and that you are publishing it anyway. So that's one way, and you may think, well, but where are the benefits then for them to pay you? And that's the point. If the project themselves, if they propose to you that they prefer to wait and not to disclose that, and they are ready to they want to establish it. I mean, their financial incentive, they want to pay you, but that payment comes with a condition from them. It's a condition from them. So this doesn't fit in blackmail. This doesn't fit in any of this. But in a way, you also have to do this very honestly and sincerely. So that's this situation that we have right now is actually why I want to try out an idea that I was waiting for this podcast to throw this idea out there, because
What do
some
you got?
I
Tell
know
us.
some white hats will come to tell me what they think about this, and I really want to know is that, first, it's a very personal thing. I can only do this when I'm having fun. I like even the disagreements, but I hate the ghosting. The ghosting is terrible. It's disrespectful, and it breaks the game. So my idea is, like, I have, for example, a couple, a fair share of vulnerabilities that I'm sitting on them, because either they are economically not so easy to exploit. Okay, that's fair. Or because they are mediums. Okay, I don't usually report mediums unless I see there may be some more immediate risk, and or if the vulnerability is out of scope. I have a vulnerability right now in a RT3 project in Immunify that is at least high. but maybe depending on what they think about this, it could be critical high. I think it's a critical, but I'm biased, of course. And but it's in one of their out of scope code bases. So if I publish it to them on via Immunify, I lose my rights right away. So
Yep. Yep.
I was having this idea, which is I'd like just to try it, not for monetary reasons, because I really don't depend on bug hunting. So what I think would be fun, I would very much like to try it, and I probably will, is to find a vulnerability, report to the product via email, and say, I'm publishing it in 90 days, and or 30 days, or whatever. In our market, I think 30 days is better because I come from standard cybersecurity, and usually it's 90 days plus 30, but it's a totally different market because you you have software that's on the other people's computer, and you need time to make them update, patch, and guarantee. Most companies have been informed and patched. In our field, they just have to just have to migrate their own contracts or something like that, and it's quicker. So I think 30 days is more than enough for fixing any vulnerability in an ethical way. So my idea is just to make some speed run, a speed run getting vulnerabilities, especially critical highs, something with more impact, more monetary impact, and just send to the product and say, okay, I'm publishing 30 days. And whatever, I'm publishing. Oh, they want to pay? Okay, I'm publishing anyway. But try to gain more with the fun of publishing the vulnerabilities to other white hats to to establish this hacker scene back to our field, because in this last especially this last year, I felt projects are closing everything, and nothing more can be published, and nothing more can be talked about. And to me, personally, that's so boring because, yeah, I want to make a 3 million vulnerability, a 3 million report, whatever, but of course, take the 3 million and don't publish anything about that and be happy, of course. But I also like this public discussion of we being able to publish to other white hats, discussing about the vulnerability, the projects being more public and transparent about this. And I think we are losing that. We are losing that to a level that there are some security people. I'm not sure they are security people or if they are marketing or manager people. I'm not really sure that are even recommending projects to go closed source. And I mean that's totally stupid in a way that is almost unimaginable. So I think we really need this open source transparency, because when I came to Web3, the one of the sole reasons I came back to Web3 is because I'm in crypto since 2013, and I went to standard cybersecurity, offensive security. And the only reason I came back to this was one, because there was now a market established, of course. It didn't exist before, and I wasn't involved, it didn't exist. There was nothing to be involved on this, and I wanted to get better in standard cybersecurity. It was a personal thing, but I came back especially because of this openness, because I was tired of working only on private projects, on things that I cannot disclose, and all this banking private deals and government things that you cannot talk about. And I like this thing of we coming people publishing, talking about the issues. You being criticized, you being proven wrong, even. But then suddenly, maybe the bear market hit. Yeah, the projects are now closing everything. Nothing more is talked about. So to summarize, my idea is that I really want to try and take advantage of my position right now, that I'm not desperate for bug bounty money, and spend like 6 months I think 6 months is the minimum. Getting these vulnerabilities and saying, here, you have 30 days to fix. I'm publishing on Y. And then if the project wants to pay me anyway, cool for them. If they want the advertise of paying, but I'm publishing anyway, and that's my work of art. I want to bring joy back to this thing. It's getting so boring right now, in my opinion, at least.
No, I'm with you. It's because it's getting more professionalized, which is just getting lamer, right? We need to take back this whole Web3
Yeah,
ethos, this whole crypto ecosystem where it should all be open. And now it's flipped it, like what you're talking about. All these terms, all these rules, it's like this is not what we wanted. And
yeah,
this is, I think we all agree that this is not where we want to go.
yeah, and I mean, you are working. I think you the and the biggest issue here is you are working in a framework that one is at least to pretend to be decentralized, right? And you are dealing with other people's money in a setup that law enforcement cannot get back this money easily. So you really have the most liquid money out there. It's not in a bank. It cannot be reversed. And then you are putting roadblocks in people discussing about the vulnerabilities that to me that makes zero sense, and to the market it's a very sure way to suicide for a market. It won't happen. I think the pressures won't allow that to happen because there are real pressures of being disclosed right now. But yes, right now the projects are thinking that the professionalization is an issue, of course, but also the way they think they should professionalize. So they think hiding things is better because the VCs won't like to know about this or to pay for that, and the investors won't like this, or my competitors will fud about this, and but if you see the long term, this is a sure way to get our market to shit and give even more incentives for the black hats, because the black hats, the best black hats, or at least most of the best black hats out there, they are on a paycheck. They are, they aren't starving to find bugs or things like that. Of course, you have some lone guy out there, sure, okay, but that's not most black hats. Most black hats, they are on a paycheck. They have the incentive to reverse your silly binary. They have the
Mhm.
incentive to find out. And even more than that, they have the incentive to be inside your company in some way. They have the incentive to bribe your employee to release source code. So from whom are you hiding? You are hiding from the good guys, from the white hats, who won't bribe your employee for source codes, who won't try to get insider information, who will follow the law. That's from whom you are hiding. So that's plain stupid. That's why
I agree, but
disclosure.
unfortunately, it's not gonna change unless there's some sort of framework built around it to force people to change. Because this is like all human behavior with anything. I'm going to make some money here, and I'm not going to report it because tax authorities won't see it. Or I'm going to do this, because this won't happen. So X, Y, Z. It's like this is just how humans behave. It's like, why am I going to pay the white hat when it's like, oh yeah, I've already got the bug. Now I'm going to negotiate him down. The manager's telling me to. We
Yeah.
would have caught it. My favorite line: "We would have caught it." You know, we would
Yeah,
have
this
caught
one
it. All right, we're
exists.
all
Yeah.
knowing. Yeah, so we would have caught it, man. That's a big fuck you, basically. We would have caught it, man. Thanks, Marco,
It,
but no thanks. We would have caught it. Okay.
no, man, the me from the other universe, he actually caught it. Yes, so yes,
Yeah, it's
yeah.
it's been caught.
And as ridiculous as it may sound to some newcomers, this really exists. Yes, I would have caught it, so the value is near zero. Yeah.
Oh man, my I think my latest that I don't like in bug hunting is the likelihood thing. The old likelihood where yeah, okay, it's an impact of this, and then we're just gonna look at the likelihood just so we could downgrade you. So let's come up with a creative likelihood argument. Okay, it doesn't exist on chain yet. Oh, well, low likelihood because it hasn't been
Yes,
exploited.
and then
It's okay. What does that
eh,
mean?
yes, and that likelihood argument, they know it's bad. They usually know it's bad because they use it against the white hats too. I reported a vulnerability that could essentially allow anyone to game their consensus and end up slashing a lot of people unwillingly, or a lot of validators, and it could be used to game their consensus. And yeah, rightful argument. I agree, it's right. Okay, in bug hunting we have to be cold and we can't really deal with possibilities. I knew that, so I published it as fast as I could because I wanted to get the bounty and not wait for it to be more exploitable. So I didn't wait for it to be really more exploitable in the version they would be the most harmed for that. And yeah, they paid me. They didn't pay me millions. They paid me a lot less because it was a potential that was not realized yet. And I knew that. I agree with that. But you can't use that in any way you want. Like they sometimes use that for telling, oh, I would have cut that, or and the likelihood it would be low, or something that cannot be proven. But they know that argument is bad because they use it against white hats. When a white hat publishes something that is not yet realized on mainnet, they rightfully, and that's correct, I think that's correct, they don't pay it in full like it was there right now. So it's the instant economic damage that's paid. And all right, yes, but you can't use it for one side and not for the other side. And that's why I usually tell white hats to be a fucking lawyer. Be a fucking
Yeah,
lawyer. Know the terms.
unfortunately. Yeah.
Yes, unfortunately, that's you see most of these discussions about bug hunting end up coming up to the human side because yes, that's all there is. Finding the vulnerability. If you are persistent enough, it's a very easy part. Of course, there are some outliers out there inconsistency or in creativity or right I think there are, but most of times it's not the hardest part. But
Yeah.
then you have to deal with all this human part and being a lawyer, knowing the terms, right, knowing how to use them, knowing what leverages you have is very very important. I think some great great vulnerabilities that could pay an important sum of money for some white hats are often lost because they are not their own lawyers. They just accept whatever the project throws at them, and that's not a very good start for a white hat for sure.
Yeah. It's it's a changing world, man, and I hope it starts changing for the better. Just right now, I think it's bear market vibes as well that just kind of makes people do weird things because price affects a lot of people
Yes,
whether they think so or not. And I think it'll change, man. I think this reverts. I think this will get back to a better security stance. But I also think we need to think about changing the way these things are handled.
yes,
We're
for sure.
like I'm
We
thinking
that
internally about changing the way bug bounties are actually designed and set up. And maybe I think there might be a better model that
yes,
we might be implementing.
yes, and that's why to make it into the record. That's why I like to point at things I disagree, especially with Humanify. It's not it's exactly because I like them and I believe and I believe they can fix many things in our market. But many things, they are in a perfect position, and they have good people there. And I think if the incentives are well applied, they can really fix things that the competitors, from what I've heard, most of their competitors are maybe even worse in some ways. I won't extend on this, but I really think Monify has a great position and a great responsibility, and many people there know that. And another thing is that it's too easy to criticize, and I know that. That's why I love criticizing. It's very easy, but solving this bug bounty hunting market is one of the hardest problems in our market. My little toy play that I want to do of this just reporting, publish. It's more like a same a way to make some things move, but it doesn't fix anything. So maybe it fix some engagement metrics to me. I don't know. Let's see. But to really fix something, you need an organization like Immunify, and that doesn't come in 6 months. You don't gain that trust in 6 months. So yes,
Right.
of course.
Yeah.
So I want to make this very clear. Um I just talk about Immunify because I believe in them and I really like them, and that's been what I've been seeing people
Yeah.
in all the places. And another thing about the bear market, I mean, it was another subject we are talking about. So I don't know if we still have time, but I'm
What? Go ahead. Go ahead.
yes, I'm I'm also in the bear market. I'm very mindful that in the last year I reported some more economic damaging vulnerabilities directly to the projects, and I had more quicker success with them, not just because the email process is better. No, in part it was also because I've left the hard test vulnerabilities for the projects to accept to Immunify because I trust their mediation. So, and these hard test ones were exactly the ones they usually hate hate more to pay, which is, for example, chain halt. Chain halt, most of the projects they hate to pay this because they believe it's survivable, it's not a real economic damage to
Because
them,
no one's using the
and
chain.
yeah, and there's one more thing on this is that these projects are usually not so decentralized as their marketing team says, so which is obvious. So they know it's like they call Johnny, hey Johnny, let's restart the chain, and yeah, that's it. So they are, but my point is, why why make the marketing that you are paying for something that you don't want to pay? That's ridiculous. So yeah.
Yeah.
But in a bear market, it's exactly this: lots of funds, lots of funds, lots of funds. You'll be lowballed, but at least you'll be paid. Yes.
Yeah, yeah. That's so funny, man. Hey, we're coming up on the hour. I want to ask you, since you're also in Europe here, are you going to France for ECC next month?
I'm still serious considering, but I think I won't, and I have a very good reason to not, because I'm in the finishing line of my wife's pregnancy for my third
Oh man,
child.
yeah. Whoa, hey, wild man. All right, we'll I'll be with you there in spirit, but it's too bad. I understand, man. No, that's cool. It takes priority over anything,
Yes,
no
I won't,
doubt.
I won't, I won't be traveling with them at this time, of course,
Yeah, yeah.
and I won't be traveling alone too at this time for obvious reasons. And yeah, it's great. My third child, and is this the episode 34?
I think this is 34.
Yes,
Yes.
I mean, if it's on sequence, it will be 34. Yes. So yes, I'm 34-year-old. So
Ah, congratulations, man. That's
Here we
fantastic
are,
news.
man. It's meant to be.
All right, man. Marco, always good talking with you, man. Thanks for coming on. And we will see everyone next time on the blockchain.